hello out there, our esteemed viewers. You're welcome to today's edition of Sports Orbit, reaching you from Leadership TV. My name is Afa Acho. Salifu Usman is right here with me on today's edition of the show. Salifu, welcome to Sports Orbit once again.
Thank you for having me once again. So it's my pleasure.
Yeah, on today's edition of Sports Orbit, we have a lot in store for you, a nice and exciting package. As always, we'll begin straight from camp of the Super Eagles, where a delegation of the Super Eagles of Nigeria has arrived San Jose, capital of Costa Rica, ahead of Thursday's international friendly match between Nigeria and Costa Rica. The contingent led by NFF Executive Committee member Otumba Sunday Dele Ajayi touched down at Yuan Santa Maria International Airport aboard Copa Airlines 5:30 a.m. and local time on Monday, Nigeria, that was local time. The playing squad of 18 players, two coaches, and other team officials traveled with the team for the friendly game lined up for the Super Eagles by the Nigerian Football Federation. The Nigerian delegation were received by an official of the Costa Rica Football Federation, and the game is scheduled for the National Stadium in San Jose. That is tomorrow. It will be 8 p.m. Costa Rica time, which is 3 a.m. We will watch it on Thursday, actually 3 a.m. Nigerian time. So, delegation to the Eagles in Costa Rica. From what we heard, 18 players, two coaches, but uh, the complete names of the players who have arrived so far, at this point, have not been revealed to us. So we don't know if it's a bulk of some of the home-based players or how many of the foreign players who have joined up for that trip to Costa Rica.
I think going by the news released earlier by the director of communications, I think this team is pulling many of the team,
Home-based,
particularly
yeah,
that the three teams,
yeah,
or many players that the team that play just made the AFCON that in three
yeah,
championship.
against Tanzania.
So yeah, if it's that case, I want to see this team as a very good fight team
Yeah,
for the under 22 team, and I hope it will give Costa Rica after the this also accept. I
exactly.
think further,
Yeah,
why people can also know what to do to opportunity can also look at it. So I think it is definitely for me, in as much as although the basic interest of this match is not for me, of course,
of course.
and
Yeah,
definitely there must be financials
definitely. Yeah.
that's why I have the money from the
Mm.
but the good is that it will give for some issues and still be a very good opportunity to assess some of the players good for us.
Very well. Yes, I mean, like you said, clearly it's a fine tune up for the under 23 because at this point, I won't even expect the main Super Eagles to be engaged in, a sort of friend like this. Not that it's not important, but right now, there's really nothing at stake for the
That's it.
Super Eagles to, go and risk them injury. So for the under 23 team who, are a team who are still trying to gel, I think it's a good testing
It's a
ground
good
for
fight
them.
because
Yeah,
even
exactly.
the Fifth are going to try and play their next match
Very
are going to
well.
pull up against Guinea,
Yeah.
and the Guineans are also lining up Burundi. They're
Mm.
going to play Burundi also to prepare for the ultimate playoff
Yeah.
for the AFCON qualifier. So it is an opportunity, and it's good that the Cosalis and team are not just sitting there to hold their hands and watching
Yeah.
what the Guineans are preparing. More importantly, that our league is still at resting the
Exactly.
league run where the league is copying is going to start. And if you have this kind of opportunity, it's a good for me it's a good ground
Yeah.
for talent like going to just work for that step they will give the team and if they can give them probably more African opener after this match so that he set the team prepare the team well for the African quality. We should know that we shouldn't see a Guinean as a no threat.
At
He
all.
is a serious threat.
Very well.
And we have to prepare for that match then seriously because the Guineans are also preparing for the African quality and also for the Olympic qualifiers.
All right. While you're speaking, you mentioned about a local league. Talking about the NPFL, the IMC, that is the Internet Interim Management Committee, will on Monday, 14th of November 2022, right here in Abuja, meet with 20 of the NPFL clubs who 50 clubs who will be participating in the season's NPFL. In a notice of the meeting sent to the clubs and signed by Davidson Oomi, head of operations, the clubs were informed that the meeting will hold from 6 p.m. that on Monday. Though no agenda has been listed in the notice of invitation, it is believed the IMC will seek to meet one-on-one the clubs who are the first line of stakeholders in the NPFL. Other possible talking points include the ongoing club licensing for the 2022-2023 season, development ideas of the IMC and contributions from the clubs, as well as a date for the commencement of the season, the format and calendar. You spoke earlier about, they don't even know in league, but here we are hearing, like we say here over and over again, in Nigeria, we do things a bit of upside down. It's like you need to meet first with all the 20 participating clubs to have a meeting, and that's when you now decide on the formalities or modalities of how to go about starting your league, the format of the league. And for me, I think a league body should have been in place that will put its feet down and be able to direct and regulate the affairs of the league, not having a meeting. It's just like how should I put it, a community meeting or a family meeting where you meet with your siblings and parents to take a decision. It shouldn't be the case where you have to meet with the 20 clubs first before you take a decision on when to begin the league.
All these things happen because we don't have a style as a coach.
Yeah.
And absolutely, even the general that even when you see it's making in front of you, you still want to set up a committee that will keep this late. And meeting of a meeting is not really necessary. Yes, we need to meet at the on the round table to discuss on the way forward. But meeting on when they need to start is something I don't really understand. That's what I say. But the LFBL has and they still have different opportunities to reposition the league. And they have come with the ideas of ability to those that will already be communicated to the club manager, from the club phone as well, from one mistake. But I don't know where and where what is the next one. But what you need to do, like what you to me, what will concern more about the LFBL is on how to get the league around, and particularly on how to gain money, get sponsors that will come to the league so that the league can start properly. But what well, like yes, last year, if you look at what the story, we don't even know what is the agenda for the story. There's no agenda
Meeting,
for
yeah.
the meeting. So what is the sort of a meeting? So we heard that they are going to meet them one on one to discuss. What is that I'm not discussing? Remember there was a meeting between the IMC, the ministers, and the club. So what else? What are you seeing? What comes?
Exactly.
They are just to me. They are just digital.
Oh, very well. Well, we'll take a look at the Sports Festival Delta 2022, where Ministry of Sports has a soft pedal, and that's according to them. After listening to cries of traditional sports athletes, the Ministry of Youth and Sports has rescinded its decision to outlaw para swimming and traditional sports at the National Sports Festival held holding in Delta State, tagged Delta 2022. Indication to this new development was a memo signed by Okere Emmanuel, Secretary Accreditation of the Subcommittee of the Festival, who has directed all the states to forward names of their athletes for registration latest by tomorrow. Very funny indeed. Well, part of the statement said, in view of the above, you are advised to register your athletes online immediately from this night as the portal will close down on Wednesday. Like the other day when we had Garagombe here,
Yes.
there was something interesting he said, about the Ministry of Sports led by Solidarity. Policies on the source. You take a decision, and all of a sudden you reverse, and this has been a hallmark of exactly. It's become a trend. You take it. The other day we had complained about why excluding para sports and all of these. The ministry had given its reason. Then, of course, athletes had protested and all of that. Then, all of a sudden, you are receiving a decision. Which day did you receive the decision? And you are giving them until tomorrow. So, who knows how many states will even get this message even before that tomorrow? So, in essence, it's like indirectly, if you're able to meet up, fine. If you don't meet up, that is your problem. Tomorrow, don't come and blame us. We gave you a window. You told you that latest by Wednesday. If you don't, you're out of it. This shouldn't be the case. We should be able to do things fairly and in a transparent manner.
Yeah, I agree with you. We should be able to do something when we take a decision. We should be able to
Yeah.
come with that decision based on what we feel
Yeah.
is best for the country. The Ministry of Youth and Sport is in charge of managing sport in this country. and one should feel that whatever decision we take should be in the interest of all to better and grow the development of sport in this country, not age negatively for the development of sport. And just like you say, like in the scenario you mentioned, okay, there was a para sport, you see, there's no going to be a para athlete in the national sports club because the athlete will protest all of the consider decision. Here again, you say they will go to additional sport, and because the athletes also protested, you are not taking that decision. So that means even tomorrow, if another person, another person protesting, and I say, okay, and I don't really understand. For instance, let me just go to this. I wanted to do if you may permit me, let me strong to say this before we can go into the state proper. National sport is our own sport.
Exactly.
It's our own Olympics.
Sport.
So I see no excess or no need. Why should we enforce the ban Nigeria traditional sport?
Exactly.
But this is our own sport. This is our own national sport festival. This is our own game. Because most of the sport we are competing for, this time they're going to be taekwondo and the national sport. Taekwondo is a martial art of the Korean.
Of course.
It's a Korean Chinese traditional sport.
Exactly.
It has nothing to do. It's not our culture. Even the wrestling, the kind of wrestling we are competing, it's not a Nigerian style of wrestling.
At all.
It's an offensive tradition.
Yeah.
We adopt all those things and we relegated our own. This is the kind of African way of style where you abandon your own, then you adopt another person's style. So why should you in the first ideally, that is why I'm not even happy sometimes where the para soccer. Often I don't know whether para so it's called sometimes the way they will treat para soccer was invented by Nigeria.
Exactly. Yeah.
And what you should do is to promote it to get prominent and into the national level and obviously even become a part of Olympic sport. We have to do it. Korea, the taekwondos and the other sports that we are competing in most of the sport, you don't even understand if there's some of them that you don't even understand if they started. But somebody come to somewhere initiated it by their own tradition and they promoted and become a global sport. So why should we reduce our own even in our own sport, in our own competition? So I don't really understand. And then well, it is good that they have considered that decision, but in the first place, Minister of Business should be able to know their stand.
Exactly.
You can't take a decision tomorrow and tomorrow you revise it tomorrow. And just like now, you have said you're going to be a traditional sport. Now, okay, you open the windows of opportunity. That's okay. We give you 24 hours.
Exactly.
How? Ordinarily, they're supposed to be formality before the registration. So what measure are you going to measure in the athlete does that? But well, I'm very sure that most of the athletes will flog that the online within the 24 hours. Because they are also get most of those athletes is an opportunity for them to get empowerment. Because if you go to compete within that time, your feeding and everything will be taken care by the state, and if you do able to do well, you'll be able to earn some money from the state government. So generally, all the athletes who are interested in one, within that 24 hours, it will be too much. You see, you'll be surprised the kind of number you see that will flood that to the online.
All right, we'll go on a quick break and when we come back, Sport Orbit continues. Don't go nowhere.
For sponsorship and advert placements, please contact 080-3688-6158. Last Word Leadership Podcast Studio. You have the last word.
Sports Orbit. We make the world go round.
All right, welcome back from that break. It's still Sports Orbit now. President of the Nigerian Football Federation, Ibrahim Musa Kusau, has assured sponsors and partners that his administration will put their monies to judicious use in developing the game of football in the country to the benefit of all stakeholders. He spoke at an interaction with a number of the NFL partners and sponsors in Lagos yesterday. He expressed heartfelt appreciation to the frontline corporate bodies and appealed for even greater support for Nigerians' football development. He was accompanied to that event by his immediate predecessor, Ahmad Pinnick, General Secretary Mohammed Sanusi, and Director of Communications, Ademola Olajuwe. Well, well, good ones. Trying to assure, sponsors that we are going to use your money, judiciously, as if is indirectly saying that in past administrations uh, haven't didn't use the funds judiciously. I don't know, maybe just to give the investors some confidence to do more.
Yeah, it's a give investor confidence. Well, I wouldn't say that is trying to pass an indictment on the
No, I didn't say that at all.
but the question that he was accompanied by Phoenix also. They together and say, what this is what I understand from them. Just there's a stage of leadership and there's need for him to commemorate himself with the sponsor and everything. There's a new sheriff in town. They don't mind shine of the football federation and then assure them that well, don't mind. I'm going to assure you that assure you that whatever you put in football, you get a benefit of your investment in football. And there's need to give that confidence assurance to the sponsors of what the football can try it out. That is support of the corporate body. And there's a corporate body, if I may say, because I may not feel their impact or I may not feel what they feel, but they have put more in football. But to me, it's not definitely they are not going to vote for it. For instance, you see of the become people like MTN, Atuse, and a whole lot of them who feel that by now their logo has everything talking about the World Cup.
Exactly.
And if you look at the moon, because Nigeria is not going to World Cup, all the corporate body in the country are not even interested. Are not even saying something about the World Cup. Unlike what it used to be, we are ahead just in February when we are going to all Africa. After Cup of Nations, there's a wave of corporate body talking about every day, advert here and there. Even the media is losing out of it because those corporate body who used to sponsor a lot of advertisement about the World Cup are not doing anything.
Exactly.
So we what we can do at Ukwaya only Orange, the Whistle leg ball, is to begin to see something different, something better, something that will be present, something that everybody will be excited about it. Our football need urgent surgical operations. We can't continue this way. We can't talk of Nigerians as a giant of Africa, Nigerians as a soccer loving nation. And we are five teams coming out of Africa. But Nigeria is not part of the team. It's really unfortunate. So they need to do a whole lot more for the team of whatever. And the only there's no even need like for me. The idea of say going to the corporate body to beg them, then don't worry. It's for you. When you are doing things right,
they need to see it. You don't even need to.
You don't even need to go to anybody not to go and ask them to beg them. When you started doing something right, they were not coming begging for you. You need to become a partner. But when you are not doing something, that is why you're going to go on your knees to beg for sponsor. But the Nigerian, they never need to begin to say they are recovered. I started to do something transparently.
Very well. I completely agree with you. Now, to some boxing news where Anthony Joshua says boxing has become complicated because of factors all outside of the ring, but insists he's focused on returning back to the ring next year. Recall that he suffered a second straight defeat by Alexander Usyk in August, having lost his WBA, WBO, and IBF belts to the Ukrainian last September. And he says the fact he's no longer a champion hurts and that his emotions are affecting his ring activity. However, he insists he'll be ready to fight again next year. He said, "My life is complicated. Boxing has become a bit complicated for me. Everyone is just trying to make the most of this time while I'm boxing and they're doing a good job. But it does affect my ring activity. So I'm just always trying to push that stuff away. It's a challenge. I'm trying to get it out that way this year. So next year I can focus on boxing once again." And this kind of things always happen when you've been a champion, you lose your belt, try to get it back, you suffer defeat again. It's sort of, destabilizes you, take you off course.
Demoralizing.
Yeah, exactly. Demoralizes you completely. And I guess that's where you feel it. And if he tries to make an attempt to come back and he loses again,
Then they-
that'll be the end.
then they
I
lose.
mean, the sport won't be interesting to him any longer.
Even at the moment,
Yeah.
it's no longer a beautiful brand.
Exactly.
And
Yeah.
that's why the people like that is the Fury
Mm.
can just make a piece of him after he want to come and fight. All of them say, "Okay, if you never, you don't respond, you don't, maybe you don't
Exactly.
respond.
Yes.
I'm not interested
Exactly.
in it." But if after
Yeah.
Joshua is holding one of the belts,
Yeah.
and if you are interested in it, you will be patient to wait for him to
Mhm.
look at all the details and everything.
Mm.
You don't just because you feel you hold the belt and you don't have anything. That's why everybody do, and that's how we sympathize that in this why boxing is utterly complicated for him now. Not only him, even if you go across all sports, like
Very well.
even across all sectors.
All
Because when you are
sectors,
up there,
Mm.
even politically, you see how politicians, when they lost election, how
Mm.
demoralized and how they become
Yeah.
become a beast. So when you are up there and all of a sudden you fall down.
Mm.
If you keep to and you wanted to get back again, you
Mm.
fall down, it will definitely affect you.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
no longer there to Joshua's
Mm.
everybody you
Yeah.
to see. If you will be lucky that sometimes even some of his friends will begin to desert him.
Of course.
Some friends will begin to
Yeah.
desert him, everybody will begin to desert him. So, but we pray that by next year when
Mm.
he gets back to the way against Wire,
Mm.
he will be able to become another
Yeah,
champion. And that's
yeah.
what we hope for.
Hopefully. All right, to some football news now where new Villa manager Unai Emery is keen to reunite with Nigeria Samuel Chukwueze at his new club. Recall that Emery signed on from Villarreal to Villa, and Chukwueze has been an integral part of his playing staff at there out there at Villarreal. And now that he has made the move to Villa, he is looking to see if he can unite with Chukwueze once again at Villa. Not for me, if you ask me, if it does happen, not a bad move. I mean,
Yeah.
moving over to the Premier League, and I mean, for every Nigerian player, one way or the other, they want
It's a
to
desire to
play in the Premier League. Yeah, and even we, the fans, we always
Yes.
want to see our players in the Premier League.
Premier League, but that is where you have access to what
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay, I'm not saying yes, we play in the La Liga sometimes we show some of their flashes and things, but not when you are playing the Premier League. When you
Exactly.
play in the Premier League,
Mm.
have more opportunities, have
Yeah.
more access, and
Very well.
even your coach of the national team have more access to look at you and to watch you.
Mm.
So, and definitely this is where you have more Nigerian players playing, and everybody wants to play here. The dream of any player, not even only Nigeria League.
Yeah.
That is why you see today, if you look at the Brazilian squad that are not in the World Cup, 12 of them are from the Premier League.
Yeah, and in the past it wasn't the case.
And it wasn't-
in
it
the
wasn't
past
the
before
case.
if Brazilians were even hardly coming to the
Come
Premier League,
to the
in the
Premier
past,
League.
yeah,
Most of the they play in their league, but
Yeah.
now or play mostly
in Italy or
Spanish,
Spain,
Spanish
yeah,
and Italian.
yeah,
But today, out of half of the Brazilian
Mm.
squad going to the World
Exactly.
Cup are from the Premier
Mm.
League. The same thing goes to every other
Everything,
nations that are
yeah,
going to the
very
World Cup.
well, very well. All right, talking about the World Cup, of course, Brazil, who have been heavily tipped to, win their sixth World Cup, released their squad list for Qatar 2022 yesterday. And of course, no surprises, just a few surprises. The likes of Fabinho didn't make the squad, but a lot of the usual suspects, the likes of Anthony Gabriel Jesus, Martinelli, and of course, the likes of Casemiro, Fred, Neymar, Jorginho, Dani Alves, who was a surprise inclusion for some, have all made that squad to the World Cup. For goalkeepers, there's Liverpool's Alisson, Edison from Man City, and Weberton from Palmeiras. For defenders, you have Dani Alves, Danilo, Alexandro, Alex Telles, Bremer, Edra Militao from Madrid, Marquinhos from PSG, and also Thiago Silva. While for midfielders, you have Bruno Guimaraes from Newcastle, Casemiro, United, Everton Ribeiro from Flamengo, Fabinho, Liverpool, Fred, United, Lucas Paqueta from West Ham, while for attackers you have the likes of Anthony from United, Gabriel Jesus, Arsenal, Gabriel Martinelli, also of Arsenal, Neymar from PSG, Pedro Flamengo, Rafinha, Barcelona, Richarlison from Tottenham, Rodrigo Madrid, and of course Vinicius Junior also from Real Madrid. But for Firmino, sad one for him. wasn't able to make it to the team, and also for Gabriel also
The Arsenal defender,
Arsenal
yeah.
defender, yeah, not made it.
The Martinelli and
Mm.
Gabriel.
Yeah,
So,
yeah,
even the
because
Jesus everyone was very good to me.
yeah, because at the point Martinelli and Gabriel Jesus were looking like might not make it, but finally made the squad for Brazil.
Brazil know that about Brazil have a decent team.
Yeah.
The team can for his team that can overlook player like Firmino.
Exactly.
Clearly show the strength of the team.
Yeah.
But one, if you look at that Brazilian squad,
Mm.
obviously for the attacking line, they give it to them. For the midfield, they give it to them.
Mm.
For their defensive line, and they get worried about their defensive line.
But even their defense,
The defensive line
their defense is still very okay.
Very well capable, but experience in the but we are looking at the aging of the defenders. Like
No, but
bringing a 39 years old Daniel Alves and Thiago Silva of 38, all coming to mind to be the good defense. Definitely Brazil is going to have a very good defense. Yes, they have
no,
a
but
good
no,
defense.
but apart from that, you have people informed defenders like Danilo from Juventus,
Yes.
Alexandro is also there, Militao from Madrid is there, Marquinhos from PSG. So they have enough cover
Danilo
for.
from Juventus, yes, but if you look at the performance of Juventus this season, it clearly shows that
No, of course.
is not up there.
No, I mean, if you're looking at the performance of Juventus, you won't put it's a whole team
It's a
effort.
whole I
But
agree.
coming to, if he joins up with the squad, you'll be different ball game. Imagine someone like Fred, who a lot of players for United criticize, but Fred always has a first team shirt when it comes to playing for Brazil. So sometimes performance for national team and club sometimes is quite different. For the likes of Thiago Silva, I can understand. Yes, you could say age, but whether I like it or not, Thiago Silva is still playing at the highest level.
He's still
And
the
for
highest
experience
level,
and all of that. Yeah, exactly.
Yes, I know the coach might have added
Yeah.
them with because of the experience, but I'm a bit concerned about their age.
Mm.
But where it is good that they have a mission,
No, but-
they have a mission for the young players and the old players.
But these days, we've seen so many times that age is beginning not to matter too much again in football.
Yes,
because-
but age is not looking, but football belongs to the young.
No,
Belongs
fine,
to the
but the truth is, these players who were mentioned here are still performing at the highest level. And when it comes to even the last line of defense, I mean, going to this World Cup, Brazil has the best two goalkeepers. You ask me, in Alisson and Ederson. So you even imagine among these two keepers, who is even going to be number one? But usually it's always Alisson. But even the number two goalkeeper can be number one for any of the teams going to the World Cup.
But you have made a very solid point. But what is that? Even the competition within the goalkeeping is another key word, another key there.
Yeah.
Having the Man Cities and the Nurses and then Alisson from Liverpool is going to be a very good one for Liverpool. But
Yeah.
congratulations to for Brazil. The only thing I may see working against Brazil is that yes, they have everything on their side, but sometimes ill luck
Yeah, sure.
to
Football
feel
is
they are
like
greater
that, yeah.
team. So
Yeah.
you have everything and everything you know win the match.
It's part of football, yeah. All right, quickly to our final story before we leave the studio. Yesterday, Real Madrid suffered their first defeat of this season in La Liga, losing 3-2 to Rayo Vallecano in that one. It ended, and with that result, Barcelona are now on top of the La Liga table. Well, that match ended 3-2. Had five coming from Madrid. Vallecano took the early lead, but Madrid struggled to come back, but it wasn't to be so. As it stands now, Barcelona are on top of the table with 2 points for now. While clearly Atletico, who are in third place, the gap is even quite massive. But clearly, this season is going to be between Barcelona and Madrid.
Barcelona. If you look at the Barcelona home domestic league competition, you agree that Barcelona has not won.
Yes, very well.
They have played 13 matches, win
Very well.
11 matches, only lose one match.
Yeah.
So but I wonder why they are having a perform woefully in the in the European Champions League, but in the Champions League. But if you look at their performance in the local league, it clearly gives to them that it clearly gives to Xavi that Xavi has tried the best he can. Even when people are calling for his head that he's no longer and he's not fit for the job, I clearly disagree. But the statistic there clearly show that Xavi is on the right track. Yes, it may not be fantastic in the Champions League as we expected, but if you look at the performance, 13 matches played so far, they have even win more matches than the Real Madrid. Everybody told me that's everything on their side. Real Madrid have so far have not drawn 2 matches and them to only draw 1 match. So Government price is going to be a two-horse race for the two sides
Very well.
in La Liga this season. But let's look at what ultimately there will then happen after the World Cup. We know where the tournament should be.
Yeah, exactly. All right, with that, we call it a day on today's episode of Sports Orbit. Tomorrow we'll be back with another fresh and exciting episode of the program. Salifu, once again, thank you for being on the show today.
Thank you.
All right, until we come your way again tomorrow, stay safe out there. My name is Apacho, and it's bye for now.
Thank you for watching. For sponsorship and advert placements, please contact 080-3688-6158. Last Word Leadership Podcast Studio. You have the last word.